You ever hear a ghost story so disturbing, so personal, it leaves you afraid to even look someone in the eyes again? Let me take you back to a story whispered between the rice fields of Java, one that echoes through alleyways in Jakarta and flickers through late night horror films across Indonesia. They call her the Sundel Bolong. She's beautiful, long black hair, flowing white dress, a woman you might follow down a quiet path until she stops and turns around, and then you see the hole. The Sundel Bolong's story begins in Javanese folklore long before city lights and motorbikes filled the island. Some say she was once a young village girl, perhaps named Rati or Kirana. She was poor but radiant. Her beauty caught the attention of travelers, soldiers, and noblemen, but it also made her a target. According to the oldest tale, she was raped by a Dutch colonial officer during the 17th century occupation. Pregnant and abandoned, the girl was cast out of her community, shamed for something she never asked for. They say she died in childbirth, alone and afraid, and her soul never left. But here's where the nightmare begins. She didn't just become a ghost. She came back as something else, a Sundel Bolong. The word translates roughly to the prostitute with a hole. It sounds harsh, and it is, because her spirit doesn't walk among the living for peace, she walks for revenge. Modern sightings of the Sundel Bolong go like this. You're riding home alone, it's late, past midnight, the roads are quiet, but you see her, a woman in white, standing near a street lamp. Her face is pale but flawless. Her hair falls straight down, silky black. She turns slightly, but never fully, never enough to see her back. Sometimes she smiles, sometimes she cries, but always she beckons. And if you follow her, she keeps walking until she disappears, or until you see her in front of you and she turns. Her back is a gaping, bloody hole right through her spine. You can see her insides twisting and rotten. Some say you can even see a baby curled inside. Others say it's just blackness, as if her soul was punched straight out of her body. But why the hole? Folklore explains it like this. She died giving birth in shame, buried in a shallow grave by villagers who feared her ghost. But they buried her face down, so her spirit could not rise. Still, she did. But when she came back with a hole in her back, where the child was born. Some say the baby was ripped from her body. Others say she carries it still, trapped in undeath. In Java and Bali, parents warn their kids, don't wander the alleys at night, don't follow a crying woman, and never speak to a stranger in white. Because if you do, she might follow you back, not to hurt you, but to take your place. The Sundel Bolong is deeply tied to Indonesia's gender-based taboos, colonial trauma, and societal guilt. Sundel originally meant a woman of ill repute, and Bolong means hole, but the legend evolved into a warning against shaming women and ignoring injustice. According to the folklore, this tale dates back to pre-1800 oral traditions, likely spread by shadow puppeteers as moral fables. She became widely popular through the 1981 horror film Sundel Bolong, which reignited national interest in the tale. In the town of Solo, central Java, A driver in 2005 claimed he picked up a woman in white late at night. She said nothing, just stared forward. When he turned to ask where she was going, she was gone. Only a wet stain remained on the seat. In Jakarta in 2013, 3 high school students entered an abandoned house as a part of a dare. They came running out screaming. One of them passed out. He later told his teacher she was floating, hair all over. She smiled at me and there was a hole. In Yogyakarta 2020, a video went viral showing a woman in white standing still under a bridge at 2 a.m. When the videographer called out, the figure vanished, leaving only a soft crying sound. The police investigated, but no one was found. They say if you see her, don't speak, don't run, and never look at her back. Because if you see the hole, she'll know you've seen the truth, and then she'll mark you. Some say she visits you in her dreams. Others claim your reflection changes. One man in Bandung swore that after he saw her, he couldn't look at his wife again. Her face always morphed into the ghosts. He checked into a hospital for psychosis, but before they could treat him, he disappeared. While the Sundel Bolong is rooted in folklore, her presence in pop culture is powerful. 1981's Sundel Bolong film made her nationally feared. She's featured in Indonesian horror games, comics, and is referenced in the mobile game Dread Out. Psychologists in Jakarta have studied Sundel syndrome, where trauma victims claim to see her in moments of extreme stress. She's now recognized not just as a myth, but as a cultural symbol of suppressed grief, shame, and justice denied. So if you're walking home one night and you hear a woman crying softly down the alley, don't speak, don't follow, because the next thing you'll see is a woman in white. And if she turns around, God help you, because what's behind her was never meant for human eyes. Indonesia has many ghosts, but none like her. She doesn't float through mansions, she doesn't guard treasures, she doesn't even want revenge anymore. She just wants to be seen. And sometimes that's the most terrifying thing of all.